Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Very pleased to see a full house today. My name is Rachel McIntosh. As swaths of new investors have entered the market and trading volumes have continued to shoot up, a robust and secure payment system is more crucial than ever. So, in this session today, we have gathered an expert team consisting of users and creators of payment service providers, also known as PSPs, of course. They will discuss what's coming to PSPs in the near and more distant futures, including innovation and disruption in this part of the fintech industry. So I'm very pleased to introduce our moderator today, Viktoria Soltesz, the founder of PSP Angels. Yes, let's give her a round of applause. Fabulous. She's going to be the moderator of this discussion, and she's also going to introduce the rest of the panelists. So let's welcome them all to the stage. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here and talk about this amazing subject. As we know that the payments, I think everybody's weak point at the moment. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting subjects to discuss. Let me introduce my panelists. Let's start with you, Mike. With over a decade of extensive experience in the payment and e-commerce sectors, along with several years of entrepreneurship, Mike is leading xpate that offers nearly 80 international payment methods and was recently appointed personal e-commerce advisor of Industria Bank. So give a round of applause to Mike, please. Also, we have here today Isac Harmony. Isac is the Chief Executive Officer at Wallter Banking, compliance and legal professional with proven more than 20 years of track record of success while working for various global companies and banks. Employing his comprehensive experience in venture capital, IT, startup banking, finance, aviation, compliance, and corporate banking, Isac brings his proven expertise, knowledge, and network to international banks, affiliates, lawyers, and other service providers to Wallter. Isac also holds an LLB and IMBA degrees. So welcome, Isac. Also, we have here today Wallter Azizov. Wallter is the CEO of B2 Broker and a founder of B2 Broker as well, company provider of technology solutions and liquidity for brokerage companies, hedge funds, banks, and all other financial institutions, and B2B in Pay, which is a cryptocurrency payment processor. So welcome here, Wallter. And last but not least, definitely Michael Zhao. Michael is a tech investor and entrepreneur, founder of IDCM, a fiat and crypto trading platform, and VGPAY, a blockchain-based ecosystem with payment gateway, white label solutions, crypto custodian service, trading, and wallet. So many things. Michael has over 15 years of professional experience and served senior roles in the financial industry with UBS Investment Bank, China Merchant Bank, and Intensa São Paulo. Michael is also a former Central Bank of Officer, China, and trading director of portfolio manager for the world's largest sovereign fund, which is China's foreign reserve management arm, which has over $3 trillion assets. Michael is also the co-chairman of Hong Kong Blockchain Association. So give a round of applause to Michael as well. So as I can see that we will be talking a bit about the crypto parts as well regarding the payments. But before we even jump into the obvious things, maybe you guys can tell me a bit more about that. What are you all busy with? If you can just summarize in a couple of sentences, what happened with all of you in this 1.5 years during pandemic? What are you working on hard from your bedroom? What is that, the new product, the new innovation, what you brought to the expo today? Maybe we can start with you, Mike.
Sure, I'll go ahead and start. Hi, everyone. So yeah, at xpate, we do believe that payment simplicity and high user experience, it was a really great few years for us, where we had made some very significant accomplishments. One of them was that we've ourselves became principal members of MasterCard. We've worked hard and we've became acquirers ourselves finally. So that means that we not only work with acquiring partners, but acquire ourselves. We've also became SEPA direct clearing participants, which means that we can provide our customers euro payments with individual dedicated IBANs. We've been working on our in-house developed core banking solutions, which is a very tailored industry solution, which we're really proud of. It's going to be launched very soon. It has been also busy year in terms of opening new offices and fintech hubs. We've opened 2 offices in London and Singapore during the time, so it has been a great time for us.
Great, lots of new things, right? And how many more things yet to come? Isaac, how about you?
Hi everybody, my name is Isac Harmony. For us it's been, the first word I can say is busy. 2020 and 21 has been a very, very busy years, thank God. Most of our clients are e-commerce related and digital related. We've seen increases in 30 and 40, 50% in the volumes of account openings and services. We are always working on innovations, meeting up with the market. Wallter, while doing that, is also catching up with the regulatory requirements, which are becoming a very integral part of our businesses today. I think that the play in the market today between the different companies has to do with 2 things. First is technology, user interface friendly, the ability to work and provide services, and the second one is doing that in a very safe regulatory environment. And basing that on a very personal customer service experience. So we are soon going to be launching, Wallter is the 3rd largest EMI in Lithuania. We also have licenses in the UK and in Singapore. We will continue to grow and offer our clients more and more services. Soon our clients will be able to buy and sell cryptocurrencies through our partnerships on our platforms. They will also be able to use processing. We have a whole bunch of new products that are rolling in. Some of them we're going to keep for ourselves. We'll tell them a little bit later so we can keep the competition. But it's exciting. There's a lot of stuff going on. Working, busy.
Yes, it's the same here with us, with PSP Angels as well. These 2 years, I really feel that these years were absolutely amazing in terms of the online payments, right? The banking is booming, the brokerages are hitting numbers that never seen before. So it was a blessing in the unfortunate situation for the online businesses to actually.
We're in the middle of what I call transformation from old classic banking into digital banking.
That's right.
So the world's contactless, digital banking, seamless accounts, online transactions. Today, almost every 4th client doesn't go into a branch, doesn't log online. He's using his phone to do transactions, to transfer money, to convert currencies, to pay with his credit card. The world is changing just in front of us. We are all, I think that everybody sitting here is experiencing it. You sit in a cafe in an airport, and you hear people in the table next to you talking about buying Bitcoin and selling and cryptocurrencies, and they have a wallet and they send that it is. We're all experiencing it. Okay, it's not. Right. We see today that people are there's a huge trend of trading online. People are participating in the market, so it's amazing.
Exactly. How about you, Arthur? Tell us a bit more. What were you busy with?
Hi guys, hi all. Look, I can tell you just, the small story. Back in 2017, it was like 4 years ago already. And B2B in Pay company, at that time, it used to be credit card processing company. And when Bitcoin hit, I do remember that. I will never forget this day. It was 1st April, Bitcoin hit $1,000. At that day, Japanese bank, they announced that they issued the new regulation for virtual currencies. And at that day, Bitcoin jumped from 800 or even 700 to 1,000. And it was like, started some hype, And of course, then the time, it was a time for ICOs and so on. But September 2017, we decided to completely move from credit card processing business for our B2B in Pay project to cryptocurrency processing. And I'm glad that we made this decision, because so far it was one of the very right decision. And today B2B in Pay, it's a global cryptocurrency processing company. We serve 450 corporate clients, including all the forex brokers, broker dealers, exchanges, and we do, I don't know how many 100,000 transactions every day. And we see this transformation, as you said. And like even 3 years ago, I predicted that, guys, don't waste your time. No need to fight with these banks. You know, they try to make your life complicated. So no need. Why you should fight with them? You can easily just send 100,000, millions, 10 millions just through stable coins if you scare to get affected from the volatility from the Bitcoin or from the other major coins. So, and that's why now you see we are here and we are talking about cryptocurrency payments, and I think it's already exists on a daily basis in our life. The only one last piece left, it's when, as soon as, you know, when I will be able to pay for coffee through crypto, then I don't know, crypto not replace, but it's gonna be definitely a very, very important part of the life of every one of us.
That's right. I couldn't agree more. We are all waiting for that moment when our grandma starts to use the crypto as well. So how about you, Michael? Tell us a bit more about what were you busy with in the last few years?
So hi, everyone. I see none of you guys are leaving or getting coffee, so I guess so far the panel is doing okay for now. I'll start with my personal experience. Start with cryptos, right? I started off as a trader, you know, in a financial service market, you know, doing good. Start from the sell side, then move to the buy side, then work as a, you know, central bank officer, you know, kind of a look at the financial market from various different perspectives, right? And then I remember 7, 8 years ago, you know, I kind of got bored, right? I kind of want to find something that is actually interesting. And then that's how we get to know blockchain technology and crypto. And I was a trader by training, and then we got lucky. That's how we, you know, make our first bunk of money, right? Starting from 2017, we actually, instead of just, you know, going for short-term returns, we actually built, try to look at this as a business, right? So we actually built like crypto exchange, crypto-focused payment gateway. We launched our own stable coins, crypto asset management. For the past 4 or 5 years, I guess a lot of my friends actually come into the market and then they left, right? Because, you know, we went through the good, the bad, and the shit days, right? To the point where all my girlfriends left me because I told them I'm in crypto. So, but, you know, this round, like starting from last March, you know, the DeFi concept started to kick off, and you know, everyone and his dogs trying to get back into this market. And then we take a pause. We think about, hey, what is the best angle to get involved? I am a firm believer of the underlying blockchain technology. But you know, talking about this technology is going to change our everyday lives. It's going to be another maybe 5, 10 years. And then payment is actually the best use case, right? It's the underlying logic is very straightforward, right? You know, everything used to be on fiat, and now changing to crypto. So this is nothing new. You don't have to understand the technology. As long as you have a digital wallet, you know how to do the transfer, you're good to go. So that's my comments. Yeah.
Great, yes, and touching on the blockchain, that it is very interesting, and we wish that everybody would have a wallet with Bitcoin in there to spend freely, but unfortunately, majority of our clients are still using Visa and MasterCard processing. So what I get requests from my clients as a payment consultants that, yes, Viktoria, crypto is great in the future, but get us something which is stable, trustworthy, card processing, right? So I just want to have your opinion about that, Mike. Obviously, you have a lot of application, and this is a very lucky position that we are in because there is more demand than supply. Could you give us some kind of tips and hints about how to get accepted easily, best way, and what should the brokers consider when we are still talking about Visa and MasterCard processing?
Definitely, and I do agree that besides crypto, which I also agree is a very important monetary instrument these days, and it's becoming more and more popular as we see, still classic payment cards are an instrument that's popular among a lot of customers and among a lot of retail customers for FX CFD brokers. So getting accepted by compliances and signing up new PSPs is a tricky task for a lot of brokers these days, especially because the businesses treat it as a high-risk business in terms of its regulation. The PSPs and the financial institutions are regulated by central banks. They have certain requirements from Visa, from MasterCard, and in order to sign up new providers, I think there are quite some factors that need to be considered. One of them, very important one, is the jurisdiction of the license that broker possesses. Certainly, if we're talking about non-EU regulated or unregulated FX brokers, then it would be probably a good idea to search for a payment service provider outside of the EU, because inside the EU it would be kind of tricky to get accepted. The second important thing, in my opinion, would be having a legal opinion about the target markets that the broker is targeting, because it really does help the compliance teams of financial institutions in order to get their comfort of accepting certain industry if it's targeting that or another market. So that would be also important. Another thing that I would certainly recommend is getting all of the corporate documents in place, getting them up to date, new, fresh, good quality scans, IDs, passports. So it may sound really obvious, but sometimes we do see a lot of applications that are really unprepared, and it kind of makes life harder for the compliance. I would also recommend having a proper. I would also recommend having a proper corporate structure. Unless it's really necessary, I wouldn't recommend using nominee shareholders. It's always much better for compliance teams to see the transparent corporate structure of the business once it's getting reviewed. It gives more comfort to the compliance team when they can see the UBO when it's not hidden under certain complicated corporate structuring where nominee shareholders are used. That's quite important as well. And last but not least, I'd say that the region of the target markets, if you're targeting certain markets, it would be a good idea to find a local acquiring bank in that market, or at least a PSP that is using a local acquiring bank in that market, because that would not only help you comply with Visa and MasterCard inter-regional regulations, but it would also help you save fees on actual card processing, because the acquiring would happen locally. Yeah, I guess that's some of the advice I could give to brokers.
And what an advice, because many times we see that even it sounds a bit obvious, get your paperwork in order, don't hide behind, nominee, even shareholders or directors. There are a lot of times when our merchants are having a hard time to actually collect these documents, but obviously they need the processing yesterday. So these are very, very nice advice. I think I can just back it up as working with multiple providers. Once you have your paperwork ready and the clean company structure, that is going to really take you far. But we don't only need Visa and MasterCard. How about you, Isaac? If someone wants to open a bank account for you, what would you advise to that kind of merchant? How to get through your compliance?
Thank you. I always like to give the advice in one word, and that word is knowledge. Okay? To open a bank account, I will start from the end. We have clients that open bank accounts with us with a reference letter in their hand within 3 to 4 days. Okay? Everything is spotless. We have all the documents filled out, all the information that we need. Wallter does an enhanced due diligence on all of its clients. Okay? Provides amazing services, but not at the cost of compliance. When the client starts to like Mike said, doesn't have the proper documents, the structure is not right, the information that he provides us doesn't add up, the UBOs don't add up, they didn't even do a world check on any of the people involved to make sure that they're not PEPs or have any sanctions, okay, or they're not on any lists. That complicates the whole process. So it is in our best interest to open the account, but we will only do so when you provide us with the right documentation. But it doesn't stop there. So in the onboarding, like I said, you have to have knowledge. You have to have knowledge of your jurisdiction. You have to knowledge of your flows. Where are you going? What are you doing? What is your business purpose? What are you going to use the funds? Where are the funds coming from? What is your business plan? Where's your licenses, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, there's a whole bunch of things to think about, and people just think, okay, I'm going to start a business and be a broker and open it, and get a platform here and leads there, and It doesn't work this way. Okay, you gotta have knowledge of what you are going to do. You gotta have some employees on your team. You gotta pay some people. When you are transferring these amounts of money for certain activities, like marketing or leads or et cetera, you have to have some sort of a payroll, and you have to have some sort of business content into these transactions. The days where people could transfer money at will do not exist anymore. But it doesn't stop there. You have the account. Use it wisely. Use it wisely because today's the regulators, the Central European Bank and other banks, they do cooperations. The financial task units and cyber units, they are live and they're online with your transactions and with what you do. They check things like clearing. They check movements from one company to the other in the same day, the same amounts and circling, et cetera, et cetera. They check a whole bunch of stuff. You have to have the proper documentation for the transactions as well. So if you are doing marketing, you have to have some sort of a marketing agreement. If you are buying leads, you have to have some SEO, whatever it is that you need to have. If you are getting money from a PSP, you have to have a merchant agreement. You have to have a PSP, something. Okay, you cannot receive not €1 and not 100,000 and not 10 million without having the proper documentation. And you guys have to connect the dots and to make sure that somebody in your teams have done it before you send it to the financial institution. Because in the minute that you did, the game is over. Okay, yes. We're not in the business of fixing documents. We're not in the business of cleaning documents. We're just looking at the documents the way we should be looking at them. And I want to remind everybody that financial institutions want your business. We want to help you. We want to work with you. Everybody on this panel will share the same idea with me, that we are all here to do business together, but we want to do it in a very safe regulatory environment.
Exactly, and now my head is buzzing of all these requirements and all these documents that you need. And do you want the size of my shoe as well? So I'm sure that that's how you can back me up, guys. That's why we are going crypto, right? So the crypto regulation, obviously not being in place, it makes the client's life and onboarding process a bit easier. However, from your perspective, when you're onboarding the client, obviously you do your own checks as well. Can you tell me a bit more about what is your requirement, how you can help the clients about getting onboarded, but not just overstress them with all these requirements?
First of all, when we do onboarding clients, we actually clients, they are able to choose between two types of like merchant service. The first one, it's when they choose, let's say, target currency like USDT or any other crypto, which means that everything what they will be accepting or receiving from their clients will be converted automatically into the target currency. And for example, of course, like most of the clients, they choose like USDT, Tether. They can actually also choose which blockchain. Actually, it doesn't matter because they can withdraw or to do the payouts to their clients in USDT, in Tether, based on any blockchain. And of course, the majors, it's Ethereum, Tron, and Omni. Just 3 years ago, like 90% of USDT transactions, they were based on Omni blockchain. Now, all of them, they moved to Ethereum, let's say 95%, and now they started moving to Tron and to Binance Smart Chain. So if they chose, let's say, target currency crypto, then requirements for onboarding a bit less. But we still do the full compliance procedure. So because KYC, KYB procedures, you cannot deny. You must to perform that. You must perform that such activities. Otherwise, any regulator or also, you know, we very frequently receive different requests from different like authorities, bodies, and they ask about these transactions or that transactions, because don't forget that blockchain, it's a super transparent system, and anybody can track, trace, and identify like the sender and receiver. And especially now, all these companies, and we use a couple of them, like Crystal, Chain Analysis, and CyberTrace, like they run now on the market a lot of such companies, and they do KYT, know your transactions. And there you can check transactions, and basically, like, let's say 60% of all those transactions, what you can find there, they are going from or to exchanges.
Right.
But all exchanges, all the addresses of exchanges, they are known. And the Crystal, Chain Analysis, and all other KYT companies, they know all the wallets, cold and hot wallets of all those exchanges. So that's why we perform 100% the almost full KYC procedures. But for clients who, let's say, chose settlement or target currency as a fiat, so we apply the all standard, very high standard procedures. Because if your merchant deal with fiat currency, especially through crypto, so it's for you it's even more like high risk. And of course, we also pay attention on the type of activities. If it's, let's say, just e-commerce companies, they sell, I don't know, phones or refrigerators. Yeah, of course, like you have to apply also the certain compliance requirements, but you can't compare them to Forex business or especially to gambling or casinos.
Yeah.
So that's why, you cannot avoid that. Still, if you are in the crypto processing, you must perform KYC.
Yes.
Otherwise, all these KYC companies, they will just blacklist your addresses if you will start washing something which is not right.
Agreed. And obviously we have to look at the future and then consider all the regulation which yet to come, but it's not there yet. So we can be always ahead of the
now it looks like self-regulation. So you follow the just standard rules, just normal business practice. And especially it's like US market. They don't have like super specific regulation. They issued like general regulations, and then every company, they adjust their business model and they write down their own regulation based on the general regulation.
Right. How is the situation at your end with VGPAY, Michael?
Actually, like from where we came from, right? We're actually based in Asia. Very familiar with the Asian market. Actually, in terms of the payment PSP industry, there's actually no PSP industry in Asia, right? So the dynamics is actually completely different. Here is license holder, do KYC. Or in Asia, it's actually very flexible, and a lot of thinking outside the box thing, right? Like for VGPAY, we actually have two services. One is we provide this fiat service. Another is a pure crypto service, right? So we're seeing more and more clients moving very fast from fiat to crypto. So if you think about it, payment is actually just like a traffic gateway, right? It doesn't really matter like you're linked to fiat or crypto as long as you are open. That opens the doors for all the traffic, right? Right now, we're actually not in a traditional forex business or a crypto business. Actually, we're in a business to fight for traffic, right? A lot of brokers or a lot of merchants, they used to have stable fiat gateways. But given the macro pictures, onshore, for example, onshore China regulators, right? They don't actually allow FX, like overseas the FX CFD trading, right? So there's actually no proper ways for you to deposit as a client, right? So it's a very active OTC and a C2C market. We're seeing around like 20 to 30 $1 million size going in and out every day, and it's true for most of Southeast Asian countries. For example, like Korean, Vietnam, Hong Kong, Singapore. So another example is that we onboarded a client about like 6 months ago, right? They're doing decent size for a deposit every day, and after we explain, how we can help them to enable the crypto payment, we're saying 30 to 40 volume where they used to run on fiat now all moved to crypto. So this is what's happening on the market for now.
Right, yes, it's very interesting. And I think, Mike, you're also strong in Asia. Is that something that you experience as well?
Well, yes, certainly. We do experience that as well, and we also see a lot of interesting trends in terms of cryptos going on, and especially where they meet the classical fiat businesses. So for us, as for a card processing company that offers their services to crypto businesses as well, it's important to understand the risks, and it's a very interesting task for us and a mission for us to build a bridge between those two parallel worlds that are trying to coexist today in this reality. Yes, and that's quite challenging.
Yes, I can imagine. Yes, it looks like that this payment industry is nothing else but challenges nowadays, but this is what we are here for, to make our clients' life easier. Go on, Isaac.
I do want to say something about cryptocurrencies. I think that cryptocurrencies are here to stay. I think it's the future. There are some platforms where you can buy Zara to crypto or coffee in Starbucks. The situation we are in is we are seeing international forces where governments are slowly starting to understand that they're losing power with cryptocurrencies. If they could have power over foreign exchanges, prices of gold, all these historical old tools that used to dominate the market, If a certain country needed to up the oil prices, they would start a war or invade another country. In the cryptocurrencies, it takes out all of these elements. So some of these rulers over the world, they're not really happy with what's going on. So that's what we're seeing, and that's why we see announcements from governments that they're not supporting this or that. I think that the only way that this will push forward is if, like Arthur said, we are going to implement into the cryptocurrency world elements of compliance and identification and anti-money laundering, because cryptocurrency is sometimes associated with money laundering and is used by a lot of groups and let's say people that shouldn't be using it. We're all in the same idea that we don't want to be part of that. That's not what we're here for. But we do want to be in this world where you can have a few cryptos on your wallet and they give you a certain yield and you can go to the store and buy with them. And you identify and you pay taxes and et cetera, you know, there's so many elements to a payment today. It's not just the KYC or KYB or source of funds, or there's also tax evasions and stuff like that. So the more clean the system is, the easier the work is. And we have seen industries which move towards cleaning up their act. And they are amazing industries. If you take the gaming industry, for instance, they're licensed, they're working, they have legal opinions, like Mike said. They do KYC and KYB. They process, they don't have that many chargebacks, et cetera, et cetera. I think their activities are cleaner. So the cryptocurrency needs to move into that space, and the more it's going to move into that space, it's going to be easier for the providers. Right now it's a little bit hectic. There's so many forces around the world that are pulling in different directions. PayPal is announcing that it's going to allow Bitcoin, and then the US government comes. China is coming out with announcements, etc., etc. So we will continue to see this fluctuation in the market and the volatility. But in the long run, in 5 years from now, we're going to sit here and we're going to say, Bitcoin to Zara, and you're going to laugh. It's going to be, what? This is history. This is in the past. So I think so.
Yes, and if you think about it, whatever is the benefit, usually that's the downfall as well, because it's easy to use. That's why it's not very safe, because there is less regulation. That's why the regulator doesn't like it. So whatever is the benefit, now we have to consider the consequences on that as well. But if you over-regulate crypto, it's just going to become another Visa and MasterCard with all the regulations, all the European regulation and the banking. So is it really that we want? Yes, but no. So.
And exactly. I just wanted to add, sorry to interrupt, I just wanted to add that cryptos here are not to avoid regulation. Totally not. You know, the idea of having, and the benefits of using crypto as a payment method is also not avoiding regulation. And once businesses stop thinking about crypto this way, it becomes much easier for everyone, including themselves, because crypto has many more benefits, such as smart contracts, such as transparency, as Arthur mentioned, and many more vast, huge, enormous advantages that are today's reality. But it's certainly not the unregulated question. It's going to be resolved someday, right? And it's going to be regulated. And we do not have to think about crypto that way.
That's correct.
I want to say that it's a question of balance, I always call it. The minute that we're going to get to that equilibrium where the regulation and the quickness, the fast payments, the instant, the crypto to Zara, all of this is happening in a regulatory safe environment. When we reach this balance, this is where we want to go with the cryptocurrencies and open banking and the blockchain. It makes the system more efficient, quicker. It will allow us to develop more products and services, and at the end message is that the cost of this will be cheaper for the end user. So that's what we're trying to do, to make the market more efficient.
Yeah, I agree with all colleagues, but you know what I want to say is that many people think that crypto is completely freedom, and since Bitcoin hit 60K, many traders and just holders, they don't use Bitcoin as a payment asset. They use Bitcoin as an investment asset in mostly of the cases. And since that time, there are a lot of transactions. That's why we see the huge growth in terms of stable coins. Take a look on the USDT, 52 billion capitalization. USDC, first regulated stable coin, 14 billions. They launched this coin October 2018. So 2.5 years, 14 billions. So, and what I'm trying to say is that all these regulated tokens, unregulated tokens like Tether, so it's a centralized tokens based on decentralized blockchains. What does it mean? It means that, and there are so much cases already, potentially the people who control these tokens and smart contracts, they already blocked, and they might block any of our or your or any user address. So, and they already did it, which means, so the people think that crypto is completely freedom, but it's not. And eventually, the regulators, what they carry really about, it's the only, all the participants, all the players, all the payment providers, cryptocurrency exchanges, brokers, they have to perform QIC. After that, every single address will be identified, and what all all the regulators, they just care about that. So that's why I think we will see bright regulated future in crypto 100%, because otherwise, you know, in this field, it might appear so many frauds and all stuff like that. So that's why we believe that the regulation is coming, and it's already here. All the countries, they even started talking, or some of them, they already implemented central bank digital currencies. And it's the same like a regulated stable token. It's a centralized token based on decentralized blockchain. Yeah. But in the CBDC case, it's going to be even centralized blockchain.
Yes, and
sorry, let me echo what was said earlier, right? Because, you know, oftentimes, right, a lot of people first get to know crypto digital assets because of the volatility, right? You know, there's no single asset class that has such a high volatility, right? Like 2 days ago, right, we're seeing like 40% move on the market, right? And you think is you know, we say a 2% move on iFX, everyone's like, woohoo! But 40%, that's what you get. And 2 years ago, we say an 85% move on a single day, right? So that's the volatility. A lot of people start to look at it as alternative asset class. But a lot of people start to use it not for punting, speculating, but through stablecoin, right? This is actually where this is relevant, right? Through payment, right? I don't know like how many of you guys actually hold a crypto wallet or hold any cryptos. Okay, no, don't be shy. You know, it's fine. You know,
everyone in the room.
Like we are all in this industry, and we want to embrace the regulators, right? But we need everyone to get involved, right? By download a crypto wallet, start, you know, not just buy BTC, right? Buy a stable coin, and you know, get a feeling yourself, and then you realize that actually this is something that's good, right? Like for example, in Asia, right? A lot of my friends, right? They don't have a bank account, right? For example, in Singapore, around 80% of people don't have a bank account, let alone credit card. They never even know what is a credit card, but they have a crypto wallet. And they're already using that every day, right? Like we build crypto ATMs where people can just, you know, go over there, get cash. So it's a lot of things happening. But when I first come here, right, I come here last November. I was at a JTech conference, right? And there's a lot of people saying, what do you do? I'm like, crypto. And then they just left, right? So I feel like, you know, this region is a little bit behind the curve. But it's never too late, right? Because the world is changing. So if there's only one thing you guys think about it, right, just act. So.
Yes, and we all remember this old story when the lady put the cat in the microwave, and since then the microwave producers have to put it on the terms and conditions and the user guide that don't put the cat in the microwave. So I think we are seeing the same situation here with the crypto as well, that we have to go through all the scams in the book again and again. We had to have the Ponzi scheme, we had to have the pyramid scheme, we had to have the volatility riders on top, and then the regulator realized that yes, okay, you cannot do that. Oh, okay, you cannot do that. You cannot do that either. And then a couple of years need to pass by until we all have a common understanding of how to make the most out of this in the best way, in the safest way. And the most important is that how can we serve the interest for the end user. We have very short time left. I just want to ask one sentence from you. Where do you see the company and your products in, let's say, in a year's time? Please keep it short, within one sentence, so we can give the space to other speakers as well coming up.
Sure. Few words: automized, tailored payment solution that gives user simplicity and enjoyable user experience.
Great.
Digital banking, instant payments, quick digital user interfaces. I think that we're here and we are going to be better.
Guys, who integrated crypto payments into your business? Who started accepting crypto? Raise your hands. What we're gonna do, we're gonna help the rest people to start accepting crypto.
Great.
Hello? Yeah. We are your day-to-day crypto payment partner.
Great.
Oh, one thing is that we're actually also actively looking for reliable, capable partners in this region. So. Yeah.
Perfect. So I think we are all working towards the same goal. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing. If you would like to have any questions for us, we are all available after the panel. So we are very happy to have a chat with you, and enjoy the rest of the expo. Thank you very much.